crochet lovers, and welcome to my channel Spaß mit Faden. Today I want to show you how I've crocheted this lovely sweater with the little clouds. You can crochet your sweater in any size and length that you prefer. In the instructions I'll explain to you how you can crochet your sweater in your perfect size. And as you see, I've added those little clouds on top of it, and I now want to tell you what you'll need to crochet to go with me your sweater with the little clouds. To crochet now to go with me your sweater, you'll of course need some yarn. I used my blue yarn for my whole sweater, and I've crocheted my sweater in a size large, and I crocheted the length a bit cropped. So I've used 400 gram from my blue yarn. For my clouds I've used my white yarn, and I didn't even need 50 gram of it. I although crocheted my whole sweater with a 4mm hook. You need some yarn needle to sew up your ends and some scissors to cut off your yarn ends, and I really hope that you now enjoy the instructions. I want to start crocheting my sweater by creating a slip knot first. Into that slip knot I now want to insert my hook and pull the slip knot tight. And I want to start crocheting my sweater now by chaining 104 chains. For a chain I always grab my yarn up and pull it through the loop on my hook, just like this. And as I said, I now want to crochet 104 chains, and because we are starting to crochet our sweater from the neckline, this 104 chains actually work for every size. So just please crochet your 104 chains. Later on I'll explain to you then how you can crochet the sweater for your size. But we all actually want to start now with 104 chains for our neckline. Now that I've crocheted my 104 chains, I want to chain 3 more. This is the first chain, my second, and my third chain, and I now want to skip those 3 chains and crochet 1 double crochet into my 104th chain. So I want to yarn over, insert my hook into chain number 104, I want to yarn over again and pull my yarn now through this chain, and I've got now 3 loops on my hook. For double crochet I want to yarn over and put my yarn now through the first 2 loops on my hook. I want to yarn over again and pull my yarn now through the last 2 loops on my hook. This was now my very first double crochet. I want to show it one more time. I yarn over and want to insert my hook into the following chain. Then I want to yarn over again and pull my yarn through the chain again. I've got 3 loops on my hook. I want to yarn over and pull my yarn now through the first 2 loops. Then I want to yarn over again and pull my yarn now through the last 2 loops. I did now crochet 2 double crochets, and I want to crochet now 17 double crochets. This means I now want to insert my hook into every chain that comes. This is my 3rd double crochet, and crochet 1 double crochet into it. Please just continue to crochet your double crochets, and when you have crocheted your 17 double crochets, we'll meet each other again. I've just crocheted my 17 double crochets. This is my double crochet number 17, and after my 17th double crochet, I now want to crochet 2 chains, just like this, and I want to crochet into the same chain as my 17th double crochet 1 more double crochet. So I just want to insert my hook into the same chain and crochet 1 more double crochet, just like this. So we've now crocheted 17 double crochets, then we've crocheted 2 chains, and into the same chain as our 17th double crochet, we've crocheted 1 more double crochet. And now I want to continue to crochet my double crochets, so I just want to insert my hook into the following chain, just like this, and crochet again my first double crochet. Into the following chain I now want to crochet my 2nd double crochet, and just please continue to crochet your double crochets again. You should have done 17 double crochets again. Now that I've crocheted my 17 double crochets again, I want to crochet 2 chains after my 17th double crochet. And then I want to crochet 1 more double crochet into the same chain in which I've already crocheted my 17th double crochet. So just insert your hook again into the same chain and crochet 1 more double crochet like this. And now I want to continue to crochet my double crochets into the following chain. I now want to crochet again my first double crochet. Then I want to crochet into the following chain again, one more double crochet. This is my double crochet number 2, and please just continue to crochet your double crochets again by crocheting into every chain 1 double crochet, and we now want to have in total 35 double crochets. Now that I've crocheted my 35 double crochets, I want to chain 2 again, and into the same chain in which I've already crocheted my 35th double crochet, I want to crochet 1 more double crochet, just like this. Now I want to continue to crochet into each chain 1 double crochet again. This is my first one. I go on with my second chain and crochet my second double crochet into it, and please just continue to crochet again your double crochets. We want to have in total then 17 double crochets again. Now that I've crocheted my 17 double crochets again, I want to chain again 2, and I want to crochet into the same chain in which I already crocheted my 17th double crochet, 1 more double crochet. And then I want to continue to crochet my double crochets. Into the following chain I just want to insert my hook and crochet again my first double crochet. Until the end of our chains, we'll then have crocheted again 17 double crochets. We're actually at the end of our very first round, and we now want to crochet into each chain till the end of our chains again 1 double crochet. In the end of our first round, we'll then have crocheted again 17 double crochets. So this is my second double crochet. Please just crochet into each chain again 1 double crochet, and in the end of your chains you'll then have crocheted 17 double crochets again. I've just completed my chains by crocheting into each chain 1 double crochet, and into my very last chain I've crocheted now my 17th double crochet. What I want to do now is to grab up the other end of my work, and I want to close this whole thing up to a circle now. Please make sure that your work isn't twisted up, and you want to grab then the other end of your work, and here are the 3 chains that we just skipped in the beginning of our row. And I now want to insert my hook into the 3rd chain, yarn over and crochet 1 slip stitch. So I just want to pull this yarn now through all the loops on my hook, and I've completed now the very first row and closed my work up to a circle. As I said, just please make sure that you don't twist your whole work up. And now that I've crocheted my slip stitch into my 3rd chain, I want to chain 3, and I want to crochet now double crochets. So I want to insert my hook now into that very first stitch and crochet 1 double crochet on top of it. And I want to continue to crochet now onto each stitch from the previous round 1 double crochet. And what we want to do now is to crochet into each stitch from the previous round 1 double crochet. Please just continue to crochet your double crochets till you're at your chain 2 space right here, and then we'll meet up again. I'm now nearly at that first 2 chain space, and what I want to do now is to crochet onto that very last stitch before my 2 chain space is coming 1 double crochet. And into my 2 chain space I now want to crochet first 2 double crochets. This is the first, and my second double crochet. Then I want to chain 2 and crochet into the same 2 chain space again 2 more double crochets. So in this round we now want to crochet into each 2 chain space 2 double crochets. Then we want to crochet 2 chains and crochet into the same chain 2 space 2 more double crochets. And I now want to continue to crochet on top of each stitch 1 double crochet, and I want to show you then one more time at our second 2 chain space for this round how I crochet into it my double crochets, 2 chains, and again 2 double crochets. I'm now already in my second round at my second 2 chain space. I've just crocheted on top of the last stitch before my 2 chain space is coming my double crochet. What I want to do now in this round is to crochet into each 2 chain space first 2 double crochets like this. Then I want to chain 2 again and crochet into the same 2 chain space 2 more double crochets. So please just continue to crochet your second round like this. Just go on to crochet on top of each stitch from the previous round your double crochets. And then you want to go to your 2 chain space again. I want to show you this. We've got 2 more chain 2 spaces left, and you want to crochet in each of it 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and again 2 double crochets. So please just complete your second round like this. Crochet into your 2 chain spaces, as I said, your 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets. And once you're finished with your second round, I want to show you how you close this whole round up and how we want to start our round number 3. I'm now at the end of round number 2, and I've just crocheted on top of my last stitch, my last double crochet for my second round. What I want to do now to close this whole thing up is to crochet on top of that 3rd chain that we've just crocheted in the beginning of our second round, 1 slip stitch. So I just want to insert my hook now on top of that 3rd chain, yarn over and pull my yarn now through all the loops on my hook for a slip stitch. I want to start now my 3rd round by crocheting 3 chains again, and I want to crochet on top of that very first double crochet from the previous round, my first double crochet for my 3rd round. And I now want to continue to crochet on top of each stitch 1 double crochet till I'm at the 2 chain space in my 3rd round, and then I'll show you how we want to crochet into that 2 chain space in our 3rd round. I'm now at my 3rd round at my 2 chain space. I've just crocheted on top of that very last stitch 1 double crochet, and now here my very first 2 chain space in my 3rd round is coming. I now want to crochet in my 3rd round in each of that 2 chain spaces 1 double crochet. Then I want to chain 2 again and crochet 1 more double crochet into that same chain 2 space. And after that I want to continue to crochet on top of every stitch 1 double crochet. So please just continue to crochet your double crochets, and in your 2 chain spaces at your 3rd round you now want to crochet always 1 double crochet, 2 chains, and again 1 double crochet. So please just complete your 3rd round like this. On top of each stitch you want to crochet 1 double crochet, and into your chain 2 space in your 3rd round you now want to always crochet 1 double crochet, 2 chains, and 1 double crochet. We now have 3 of those 2 chain spaces left, and at your end of your 3rd round I want to show you one more time how you close up your rounds and how you start a new round. I'm now already at the end of round number 3, and the way I want to close up now my 3rd round and start crocheting my 4th round is actually the pattern that we want to use for each following round. So as you can see, I've got 1 stitch left for my round number 3, and I want to insert my hook on top of it and crochet 1 double crochet. I want to close now my 3rd round by crocheting into that 3rd chain that we started our round with 1 slip stitch. So I just insert my hook on top of that 3rd chain and crochet 1 slip stitch into it. For my 4th round I now want to crochet again 3 chains, and then I want to go to that very first double crochet and crochet for round number 4 my very first double crochet. And I now want to continue to crochet on top of each stitch 1 double crochet till I'm at my 2 chain space again. I'm now in my 4th round, again at my 2 chain space, and the pattern for the sweater is actually very easy. We always want to crochet on top of each stitch from the previous round 1 double crochet, and into our 2 chain space we now want to take turns. In my 4th round I now want to crochet into my chain 2 space again 2 double crochets like this. Then I want to chain 2 again and crochet into the same 2 chain space again my 2 double crochets. So in my 4th round I now want to crochet into each chain 2 space 2 double crochet, 2 chains, and again 2 double crochets. In my 5th round I then want to crochet into my chain 2 space 1 double crochet, 2 chains, and 1 double crochet. And in my 6th round I would then crochet again into my chain 2 space my 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets. In between our chain 2 spaces we always want to crochet on top of each stitch again our double crochets like this, and we want to close up the rounds as I've already showed you on the end of round number 3. And I now want to show you how you can crochet the sweater in your precise size. I'm now in the beginning of round number 4 and my work looks like this right now. I want to tell you now how many rounds you have to crochet. So the first thing that we want to do now is to grab both sides and fold our work together like this. Now the chain 2 spaces in the front and in the back are laying on each other, and what I want to do now is to crochet round by round till those 2 chain spaces are closing up underneath my arms. So this is the neckline that we all started to crochet with our 104 chains. There will be our shoulders, and what we want to do now is to crocheting round by round till we can close up those 2 chain spaces underneath our arms. I want to crochet my sweater in a size large. I want to continue now crocheting my sweater round by round, and as I said, you can be really sure that this whole thing will fit you when those 2 chain spaces are closing up underneath your arms. And once you're so far, I want to show you how we want to separate our 2 arm spaces and just continue to crochet the body of our sweater. Please just continue to crochet round by round, and once these 2 chain spaces are closing up underneath your arms, I want to show you how we want to separate our arm spaces from the body of our sweater. My sweater looks like this right now, and what I've done is to crochet round by round till those 2 chain spaces were closing up underneath my arms. So please just continue to crochet your sweater round by round, and once your chain 2 spaces are closing up underneath your arms, you want to start the following round just the same way as we did it the whole time. And you want to crochet your double crochets now to that very first 2 chain space, and then I want to show you how we want to separate our arms, because we want to continue to crochet them later on, from our body. And after we separated now our arms from the rest of our work, we first want to complete to crochet our body of the sweater. Later on I will show you then how we want to continue to crochet our arms as well. So please just make sure that those 2 chain spaces are closing up underneath your arms, and you want to start then your next round by just crocheting your double crochets till that very first 2 chain space. I'm now in my round number 13, and in this round I now want to separate the arms of my sweater from the body of my sweater. So what I want to do now, after I've crocheted my double crochets till my very first 2 chain space in my 13th round, is to crochet into that chain 2 space 1 double crochet. And I then want to chain 1. I'm crocheting, as I said, my sweater in a size large. If you crochet your sweater in a bigger size, you can actually crochet more chains, and in your following round you then can crochet in each of those chain 1 double crochet, so the body of your sweater will get bigger. So if you want to make the body of your sweater bigger, just chain as many chains as you need, and in our following round we would then crochet in each of those chains 1 double crochet. So after I've crocheted now into that 2 chain space my double crochet, and as I said I chained 1, I want to skip now every following double crochet stitch here and go to my next 2 chain space, and I want to skip all of those stitches and just crochet into my second chain 2 space, which is right here, 1 double crochet like this. What we've done now is to separate the arms from the body of our sweater, and I now just want to turn my work around like this, and I just want to skip now all of those stitches and go to my next following stitch right here, after I've crocheted into that second 2 chain space my double crochet. And I want to insert my hook now again, and I want to crochet now on top of every stitch my double crochets till I'm again at that 2 chain space. This will be my third 2 chain space, and I then want to show you one more time how we want to separate the second arm space. In my 13th round, I'm now at my 3rd chain 2 space, and as you know, I want to separate the arms from the body of my sweater in this round. So into that 3rd chain 2 space, I now just want to crochet 1 double crochet. Then I want to chain 1, and I want to skip all of the following stitches and grab my 4th and last 2 chain space just like this, and I want to crochet 1 double crochet into it. Then I want to turn my whole work around again, and all of those stitches in between those 2 chain spaces we now want to skip again and just continue to crochet on each stitch 1 double crochet till the end of our round. So please just make sure to crochet on top of each stitch 1 double crochet till you're again at the end of your round, and then I want to show you one more time how we close up each round and start with another one. I'm now at the end of round number 13, and I want to show you one more time how we want to complete each round and start a new one. So what I want to do now is to insert my hook on top of that 3rd chain, yarn over and crochet 1 slip stitch. And then I want to chain 3 again and start my 14th round by crocheting on top of that very first stitch my first double crochet. What I want to do now is to just lay my sweater on my table, and then I want to tell you how many more rounds you will have to crochet. In my last round, I've just separated the arms from the body of my sweater, and I've chained 1 in between those 2 chain spaces. In my following round, I now want to crochet on top of that 1 chain 1 double crochet, and because we've used that 2 chain spaces to separate the arms from the body, all we have to do now is to crochet on each stitch from the previous round 1 double crochet. So all we have to do now is to crochet round by round with our double crochets till we reach the perfect length of our body. I want to add, when I'm finished with the length, 5 centimeters with a waistband. Please make sure to stop crocheting your rounds 4 or 5 centimeters before you've reached your perfect length, because we then want to crochet 1 waistband to our sweater. So I just want to continue now crocheting my sweater round by round with my double crochets, and right before I've nearly reached my perfect length, 4 or 5 centimeters before that, I want to stop crocheting my double crochets, and then we'll meet up again, and I want to show you how I want to crochet my waistband. My sweater looks like this right now. Up here I do have my neckline, and there I separated the arms from the body of my sweater. What I've done after that is to crochet 14 rounds with my double crochets, and now I've nearly reached my perfect length. What I want to add now is a 5 centimeter waistband, and I now want to show you how I crochet it. Now that I've completed round number 14 with my double crochets for the length of my sweater, I want to start to crochet my waistband. So what I want to do now is to chain 2 for the beginning, and then I want to crochet on top of each stitch 1 single crochet in this first round with my waistband. So I want to go to that first stitch, and I want to insert my hook on top of it, yarn over and pull the yarn through. I've got 2 loops on my hook, and I want to yarn over and pull my yarn now through those 2 loops. So in this very first round for our waistband, we just want to crochet on top of each stitch 1 single crochet. So please just continue to crochet your single crochets, and once you're again at the end of your round, we'll meet each other again. I'm now at the end of my very first round for my waistband with my single crochets, and the way I want to close up this round now and start a new one is the way that we want to do it with our waistband. This means I want to insert my hook now on top of that second chain that I've crocheted for the beginning of my round with the single crochets. I want to yarn over and pull my yarn through all the loops on my hook, and I've just closed up the whole round now with 1 slip stitch. For the beginning of my second round for my waistband, I want to chain 2 again, and I now want to crochet my whole waistband by crocheting single crochets. But what I want to do now is to crochet my single crochets only into the back loop, and I want to show you how I mean this. As you can see, a stitch is normally made out of these 2 loops, and now we want to continue to crochet round by round for our waistband by only crocheting into the back loop. I want to show you how I do this. I insert my hook now in between those 2 loops and grab the back loop only. Then I want to yarn over and pull my yarn now through this back loop, and I want to crochet my very first single crochet. So what we want to do now is to crochet round by round our single crochets for our waistband, but we only want to crochet them in each round into the back loop only. So I want to continue now to crochet round by round my waistband, and I think I want to crochet 5 or 6 rounds with the single crochets only into the back loop. And once I'm done, I want to show you how this whole waistband turned out. I've now completed to crochet my waistband by crocheting 6 rounds with my single crochets into the back loop only. And after my very last round, I've just cut off my yarn and sewed it up inside of my work. And in my case, my waistband is now 4 centimeters wide. Of course, you can make it even wider by adding more rounds, but I'm actually satisfied with my 4 centimeters. What I've done although is to crochet already my first sleeve. The second one I want to crochet to go with you, but first we want to now crochet our neckline. What I want to show you now is how I insert my yarn right here where we started to crochet our sweater, and I want to crochet then 1 basic round with single crochets, and after that I want to add more rounds with single crochets that I only crochet into the back loop again, so it'll look just like this pattern and the pattern of my waistband. So please just grab up your work right here where you started to crochet your sweater, and I then want to show you how I insert my yarn into here, and then I want to crochet, as I said, my very first round with basic single crochets. Before I now show you how I've crocheted the sleeves of my sweater, I want to show you how I complete my neckline. So this is actually the place where I started to crochet my sweater, and what I want to do now to close up this little gap is to insert my hook on top of that very last double crochet on the right, and then I want to insert my hook on top of that very first double crochet on the left side as well. And I want to take now my yarn and yarn over and pull my yarn now through those 2 stitches, and as you can see, we've closed up now this little gap. And I want to crochet now for my neckline the exact same thing that I've already done for my waistband. So I now want to chain 2, and in my very first round I now want to crochet on top of each stitch 1 single crochet. After this round with my single crochets, I then want to continue to crochet my rounds with my single crochets into the back loop only, and I want to crochet again 6 rounds with my single crochets into the back loop only. So this is how we want to close up now the neckline and how we want to finish our neckline. Just crochet now your first round with single crochets on top of each stitch, and then you want to crochet 6 more rounds with single crochets only into the back loop, and the neckline of our sweater will be completed then, and we'll continue to crochet then the sleeves together. I've just completed to crochet the neckline for my sweater. I've just crocheted 1 round with my single crochets and added 6 more rounds with my single crochets into the back loop only. So what I've done is to crochet my neckline the same way as I've already done it with my waistband. And what we want to do now to complete our sweater is to crochet our sleeves before we continue to crochet the little clouds. So what I want to do now is to grab exactly this place where I separated the sleeves from my body of the work, and I want you to grab up now this very place with this 1 double crochet, and exactly there we now want to insert our yarn, and I want to show you how we crochet our very first round for our sleeve. What I want to do now to complete to crochet my sweater is to go to that sleeve place just where I showed you. This is the place where the sleeves go over to our body part, and what I want to do now is to insert my hook on top of this double crochet. As I said, there's our sleeve place, and I want to insert my yarn now on top of that stitch. So I just want to yarn over and pull my yarn now through this very first stitch. Now I want to chain 3, and those 3 chains we now want to count as our very first double crochet. I now want to just continue to crochet on top of each stitch 1 double crochet. So this is my second one, because the 3 chains we want to count as our first double crochet. Then I want to crochet my 3rd double crochet and my 4th and last double crochet. And now I want to crochet 1 invisible decrease, because I crochet my sweater in a size large. This whole arm space is a little bit too big for me. So after I've crocheted now my 4 double crochets, I want to crochet 1 invisible decrease with the following 2 stitches. For this I want to yarn over and just grab now the front loop only of the following stitch like this. And I want to do it with the next stitch as well. I just want to grab the front loop only, then I want to yarn over and pull my yarn now through those 2 stitches. And I've got now 3 loops on my hook. I want to yarn over and pull my yarn now through the very first 2 loops on my hook, and I want to yarn over and pull my yarn now through the following 2 loops on my hook. So what we've done now is to just crochet these 2 stitches together to one in this round, and I now want to continue to crochet again my 4 double crochets. This is my second one, my third double crochet, and my 4th and last double crochet, and then I want to crochet 1 more decrease. So I want to yarn over and crochet now those 2 stitches together to one. So I just go on now and grab the front loop only on both stitches. I want to yarn over and pull my yarn now through those 2 loops from the stitches. Then I want to yarn over and just pull my yarn through the following 2 loops, and I want to yarn over one more time and pull the yarn now through the last 2 loops. So what I want to do now is to crochet this round with my invisible decreases after every 4th double crochet that I just crochet, and then I want to continue to crochet round by round with my double crochets. So what we want to do now is to complete this round with the decreases. By the way, if you've crocheted your sweater in bigger sizes, it can be possible that you have to add more rounds with invisible decreases. So please just try on your sweater and look if the sleeves are fitting you, and if they do, all you have to do after this round with your decreases is to crochet 1 slip stitch into the top of the 3rd chain and then crochet round by round with your double crochets. I've crocheted my very first sleeve with 24 rounds of this double crochets. So I've counted this very first round with my decreases, and after that I've crocheted 24 more rounds with my double crochets. And after you've completed the length of your sleeve, you want to crochet again the same band that we already used with our neckline and our waist. After your 25 round, you just want to crochet again 2 chains, crochet 1 round with your single crochets, and then 6 more rounds with your single crochets only onto the back loop. And once you've done with your sleeves, I want to show you how we crochet our clouds and sew them up onto our sweater. I want to start to crochet my clouds by grabbing up my white yarn first, and with my white yarn I now want to create 1 slip knot, and I want to insert my hook into that slip knot now and pull it very tight. I want to start to crochet my clouds by crocheting 11 chains first. So I always want to yarn over and pull my yarn through the loop on my hook. This is my first chain, my second, third, fourth chain, number 5, 6, 7, 8, my 9th, 10th and 11th chain. And now I want to insert my hook into that second chain from my hook and crochet 1 slip stitch in it. So I just want to insert my hook into each chain, yarn over and crochet 1 slip stitch into it. And in the end of our round, we'll then have crochet 10 slip stitches. I've just crocheted into my very last chain my 10th slip stitch. And what I want to do now is to turn this whole thing just around like this. Now I want to crochet on top of each stitch on the other side 1 slip stitch as well. So please just continue to crochet your slip stitches till you're at the end of your row. And then I want to show you how we want to continue to crochet our little clouds. Now that I've crocheted on both sides of my chains my slip stitches, I want to go to that next stitch after my last slip stitch and crochet 6 double crochets into it. So this is my first double crochet, my second double crochet that I crochet into the same stitch. This is my third double crochet, number 4, my 5th and my 6th and last double crochet. Now that I've crocheted into the same stitch 6 double crochets, I want to go to that next stitch and crochet 1 single crochet into it. And now I want to skip a random number of stitches always. I just want to skip now those 2 stitches and go to the 3rd stitch and crochet again 6 double crochets into it. So this was my first double crochet, the second one, my 3rd, 4th, 5th and my 6th double crochet. And after that I want to go to my very next stitch and crochet 1 single crochet again. So after you've crocheted your 6 double crochets, you always want to insert your hook into the following stitch and crochet 1 single crochet. Then you want to skip again a random number of stitches. I at this time want to skip 3 stitches and insert your hook then on top of that next stitch that you've just chosen and crochet again 6 double crochets into it. This is my second one, my 3rd double crochet, number 4, my 5th double crochet, and my 6th and last double crochet. And after I've crocheted now again my 6 double crochets, I want to insert my hook again on top of the following stitch and crochet 1 single crochet on top of it. And then I want to skip again a random number of stitches, insert my hook into the next one and crochet again my 6 double crochets. So please just continue to crochet the other side like this as well. And once you've reached your first 6 double crochets right here, we'll meet each other again. Now that I've crocheted on the other side my 6 double crochets and my single crochet as well, I want to go to that very first 6 double crochets and insert my hook on top of that very first stitch and crochet 1 slip stitch. So my little cloud is now completed. What I now want to do is to chain 1 and leave like 20 centimeters of my yarn over, because with this I want to sew up the little clouds onto my sweater, and I then want to cut off my yarn and pull it through that very last chain. After you've crocheted now as many clouds as you prefer, I want to show you how I sew them up on my sweater. We now do have one last step left, and then our sweater will be completed. All we have to do now is to sew up our clouds on top of our sweater. And what I've done so far is to turn my clouds around, because this is actually the back side of my clouds, but they look way more puffier on the back side. So I've decided to sew them up with the back side on top. And all we want to do now is to pick our yarn needle and the 20 centimeters of leftover yarn. And what I want to do now is to just go on the edges of my little cloud and sew them up onto my sweater. So I just want to insert my yarn needle now on this very first stitch, and I just want to go in the inside of my work like this and just pull my yarn through. Then I just want to insert my yarn needle here from the inside to the top of my cloud again, and I want to grab the next stitch while doing this with my yarn needle. And this is the way I want to sew up now my clouds. All I have to do is to just insert my yarn needle into the next stitch, this time from the front side because my yarn is coming from the front side, into the inside of my work. And I want to turn it around just like this. Then I want to just insert my yarn needle in the inside of my work on top of that next stitch and pull my yarn through. And I want to do this now with my whole cloud around the edges. I just insert my yarn needle on top of the next stitch and pull my yarn through. And then I want to go from the inside of my sweater again on top of that very next stitch. And like this, I just want to now sew up my little cloud on my sweater. And once you sewed up the edges of your cloud on your sweater like this, and you're again at the start, I want to show you how we just want to cut off our yarn after working our little knots. I just sewed up my little cloud on top of my sweater, and my yarn is coming from the front. What I want to do now is to insert my yarn needle again in the inside of my work and just pull this yarn again on the inside of my work like this. And now I want to flip this around. I want to work 3 knots on the inside of my work. What I want to do now to work my knots is to just grab up any of those stitches and just pull my yarn through it, and into this little loop I now want to insert my yarn needle again and pull the yarn very tight. So we just worked a knot, and I want to do this 3 times. I again want to grab up any of those stitches like this, and I want to insert my yarn needle and just pull it through till this little loop just creates itself like this. And then I want to insert my yarn needle on top of it again and just pull it very tight. This was the second knot and my third knot. And now I just want to cut off my yarn. And once you sewed up all your clouds on your sweater, we'll see each other again, and I want to show you the final results. So now that I've sewed up my clouds on top of my sweater, this is the final result. And I personally think it looks very adorable, and it although was very easy to crochet because we actually just used double crochets. And as you see, it looks just very, very beautiful and pretty. And if you do have now a as lovely sweater with the little clouds as I do, please make sure to subscribe my channel and like my video to support me. And I really hope that we'll see each other the next time as well.